Okay, I think we're finally good to go now. Let me just do one more last check. Make sure I can hear myself in the group. And then we will begin. It says we're live. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that we're live. I can hear sound for sure. All right, so here we go. So welcome to the Fertility Strategy Challenge. This is something that I created because I wanted to be able to help you women to come up with a strategy that was for you, made by you, and that basically is going to help you get your fertility on track, okay, on a deep, intimate level. So I am your host and presenter, Natty. I am your fertility strategist. I am here to help you increase your fertility naturally. So who is this for? So this webinar, or this 5-day series, it's a 5-day series, by the way, and this is part 1. This is for anyone who is trying to conceive naturally but does not know where to start. If you're feeling stuck on your fertility journey, if you have fertility goals but don't know how to implement them, it's for you if you want to improve your health before you have a baby, which should be all of you. And it's also for you if you want to increase your hormones or achieve hormone balance, to reduce stress, to regulate ovulation or regulate your menstrual cycle. It's also for you if you want to reduce fibroids, endometriosis, PCOS, cysts, or any other type of fertility related issue, right? So it's also for you if you want to practice self-care and self-love. Okay, so Felicia, we're gonna have to say bye today because it's not for you if you hate planning, hate goals, hate success, hate achievement, or hate celebrations. Okay, you're just gonna have to leave this one. It's not gonna go well with you, right? It's also not for you if you like being in the same place in the next 5, 10, 35 years from now. Okay, if you're comfortable, this is not going to be for you because this is actually something designed to interrupt your current pattern. It's not for you if you have no intention on setting or implementing fertility goals. If you think fertility just means getting pregnant, you might want to stick around because it's fertility encompasses so much more than just getting pregnant. It includes your menstruation cycle. It includes when you ovulate. It includes, the whole every single day of the year, the week, the month, as long as you have fertility organs, reproductive organs, if you're breathing, this probably might help you if you're a woman. Okay, it's also not for you if you don't want to improve your health before you have a baby. If you just want to continue to eat, I don't know, whatever, do whatever, continue with the same habits, unfortunately, this is not necessarily going to be for you. And also, if you like period pain, if you enjoy having stressful bouts of, whatever the case, PMS, it's not for you. If you like irregular hormones, if you like mood swings, if you enjoy an ovulation, just not ovulating because maybe you think it's a good sign since you can't get pregnant, or if you enjoy irregular menstruation because you're not menstruating, it's hard to say, but it's not for you. But you might want to stick around because an ovulation and irregular menstruation is a sign of something else, right? You might want to look into that. If you want your fibroids, if there are welcome friends, if endometriosis is, something you look forward to, which I doubt, if you enjoy PCOS, which I doubt, and if you don't mind having cysts and all of that wreak havoc on your life, then you might want to leave, right? And also, if you don't want to practice self-care, any type of self-love or anything like that, if you enjoy re-experiencing traumas and past hurts and just like to talk about it and be a victim and don't actually want to move on, bye Felicia, this one is not going to be for you, sis. Maybe come back after you have gone through some things and you've grown and you've learned, then you can come back. Right. All right, so today is day 1 and I'm so excited to share this with you because I actually put this slide together on last night. I tried to go live last minute. Yesterday I was going to go live and just present my face and you were going to get to see me talk. Unfortunately, you're not going to get to see that today, but it didn't work out. But I took that time in order to create these beautiful slides. Don't you love them? But it's going to help you to basically get your fertility goals in track, right? It's going to help you to figure out your why. Because a lot of times people talk about, they want to increase their fertility or they want to have a baby, but nobody really digs deeper and finds out why. Because a lot of times that why is not really in alignment with the woman. A lot of times the why has something to do with what the man wants, or, it might have something to do with what their family wants, or it might have something to do with what society wants. But how much time have you spent asking your own self why? Why do you want a baby? And not to say that you shouldn't want one, but I think that your reason for why you want one can have a lot to do with why you may or may not be having fertility issues. For example, if you say you want to have a baby because maybe your family is pressuring you to, they're saying you're 30 years old, why don't you have a baby yet? And so you go on trying to, please them, trying to make them happy, right? But then you realize, okay, you're not getting pregnant. And then you get stressed out, frustrated. The reason why maybe because it's not necessarily for you, it's for someone else. So if you truly want to have a baby, I would suggest, take some time and do some interpersonal work to figure out, why you want a baby, and make sure that why aligns with you. Maybe it's because you want to be able to pass on your experiences and what you've learned, and you want to improve the world and birth someone who can make the world a better place or something like that. But whatever the case is, make sure that it aligns with you and that it's your reason why and not necessarily just somebody else's. Okay, so what you're going to learn here is how to create your goals, how to set intentions for your goals, and how to make sure that your goals are in alignment with you and your core values. Okay, so you're also going to learn how to avoid over planning, how to avoid self-sabotage, and how to avoid grandiose. And before I continue, I do apologize if I cannot see any comments because I have this computer I'm using will not allow me to sort of look at what is going on in the chat, but I will do my best to get to any comments that are left either after this live or at a later date, right? So let's ask you one major question, and this is, going to help you a lot on your fertility goal setting challenge. If you listened to one of my last podcasts, I had mentioned in there that I like to ask women now, where have you had success on your fertility journey in the past? Because a lot of times, whatever success you have is minute as it may have been. If you were to amplify whatever you did in order to achieve that success, you could more than likely achieve greater success on your fertility journey. So, for example, I mentioned, I talked about the 80-20 rule and how 20% of what you do gives you the most success. And then the other 80% is something that you can pretty much drop. You know, you can, even though you may have some success with the other 80% of what you're doing, that 20%, if you were to focus 90% or 100% of your time on that, you would have you would be able to achieve not only the success that you're having for that particular thing you're trying to do, but it would carry over into other areas in your life. And this holds true when it comes to fertility, because a lot of times if women are trying to, you know, some women may have PCOS and endometriosis and possibly even fibroids and whatever whole host of other things where it's causing them infertility. Um, and they're so bombarded that they decide that, okay, they're going to tackle everything. They're going to tackle PCS, they're going to tackle fibroids, they're going to tackle endometriosis, and they're, you know, doing exercises for this, they're taking herbs and eating foods for that, they're taking you know, whatever meds or whatever courses, you know, for the other issue, right? When if you were to really just focus on one thing, okay, a lot of times you could achieve success for all three of those things: PCOS, endometriosis, fibroids, whatever the case may be. And that is because a lot of times they're stemming from the same issue: unbalanced hormones, you know, and ovulation, or growth's happening in the womb, in the uterus. And you know, there are certain things where if you were to just focus on one thing, you could again manifest better health for everything. And I'm going to talk about that in the later days of the challenge. But I just wanted to ask this one major question: do you have a goal setting mindset? If you had a goal setting mindset, you might know what I'm talking about. You know, just trying to tackle too many things at one time. Okay, so let's dive into this a little bit more. So let's first ask again now, what is your goal setting style? Because this is going to kind of help you see whether you have a goal setting mindset or not, right? So how important is goal setting to you to begin with? You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, you know, ask yourself, how important is setting goals for you? You know, how much of a priority is this in your life? How much time do you dedicate in order to set goals, either on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis? How often do you set goals, right? So if you have a pen and paper, you really should, for this class, write down, you know, how important on a scale of 1 to 10 is goals for you, and then also take note of how often you set goals. Now, I know a lot of times we just do this and we don't, you know, it may seem like a silly question, it's nothing that anybody really thinks twice about, but this will help you when you get to look at your patterns, in order to ensure that when you are setting your fertility goals, and I'm going to show you why these goals are different from any other goals that you are setting to some degree, why it's important to just go over these steps. So before we continue even more, this entire class is consists of a lot of questioning and a lot of deep interpersonal work, like I've mentioned before. So if you thought I was just going to breeze over everything and that, you know, you weren't going to have to take part in this, you're mistaken, because it's so important that you know, fully be present, right? So maybe if you can't be present right now, maybe it's best if you come back and listen, but I really want you to be present with this right now. Okay, so the next question is, do you multitask when you are setting your goals? Do you try to multitask and do a lot of things? Or when you are trying to carry out your goals, do you find that you are sidetracked, or that you feel like you have to be, you know, washing the dishes and scrolling on the internet, like trying to research, you know, solutions to your issue? Or, you know, are you driving at the same time while you are again trying to look at YouTube videos and watch? You know, are you multitasking? Is this a pattern or habit of yours? Or do you focus on one thing at a time? Do you sit down and do you just stay on that one web page, or do you stick to that one task, you know, and have no distractions, right? And then, so how do you decide what you are going to multitask, or how do you prioritize what your tasks are going to be? So take some time and write that down if you are aware of like how, because as important as fertility awareness is, self-awareness is so important too. It's important that we are aware of our patterns and our habits, because this carries over into our fertile life, or into our fertile lifestyle. You know, it carries over throughout your life. So, you know, take some time and like really do some self-analysis of whether or not you multitask or focus on one thing. Is going to help you later when it actually does come to the goal setting for fertility. Okay, so next is, again, do you write your goals down, or do you keep them in your head? Right, it's said that if you write your goals down, you are more likely to carry them out. I don't know if you received a planner when you were in middle school, high school, but when I was going to school, they gave us planners. We all hated them, but you know, it was encouraged to us that we use these planners and we write down in them each and every day what our assignments were, homework, you know, what we needed to do, and to check off the things that we did, and to highlight the things that we didn't do or that were important that we needed to do, right? So for you, if you were like many of us when we were children, we rebelled and we were like, no, we're gonna just keep it in our head. I have a good memory. I'm gonna, try to memorize everything. And then you get home and you forget your homework in the book, and you go back to the school the next day and you start it all over again. And as the years go by, you start to see that the wonderful memory that you had was not necessarily serving you. And part of the reason why is because your heart may not have really been in it. You didn't really want to go to school. You were kind of forced to go to school, right? But when we're talking about our own life goals and our own personal goals, things we say we want, how do we ensure that they are going to get done? Do we write them down, or do we keep them in our head, or is it unavoidable? Is it like a constant pressing memory, a recurrent thought that you have no choice but to think about, right? So take some time and just jot that down, right? So the next question is, do you share your goals, or do you